this is the first time I'm speaking about it. Something that I'll never forget.
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in a new interview with new allegations about wild parties.
Get ready for a jaw-dropping deep dive into one of the most explosive celebrity scandals of the decade. Imagine this: hip-hop mogul Diddy Combs, a man who built an empire on talent, charisma, and relentless hustle, now caught in a whirlwind of allegations, lawsuits, and shocking leaks that could rock the entertainment industry to its core. With each new twist more unbelievable than the last, this saga is a roller coaster of fame, power, and controversy. So buckle up, because this is a story you won't want to miss.
Explain why he's speaking out now.
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the...
For months, headlines have been ablaze with one of the most shocking celebrity scandals in recent memory. Sean, better known as Diddy, Puff Daddy, or simply Puff, has never been a stranger to controversy, but this time the stakes are higher than ever. Decades of alleged misconduct, courtroom showdowns worthy of a crime drama, and a flood of leaked recordings have left the public both stunned and divided. On top of that, a growing stack of lawsuits, each more shocking than the last. Has everyone asking, has Diddy's carefully curated empire finally crumbled under the weight of its secrets?
He was responsible for Diddy's day-to-day life, so he is able to provide a lot of information about what that life was like. He goes into detail on extensive...
The drama reached a boiling point when a bombshell lawsuit was filed against Diddy's son, Christian King Coles. While Christian may not command the same spotlight as his father, this lawsuit dragged them both into the fire, alleging deeply disturbing behavior aboard a yacht, with Christian facing direct accusations. Sean Combs was also named for allegedly enabling and facilitating the situation. Then came the leaked audio recordings, reportedly reviewed by CNN, in which the alleged victim claimed she was forced into unwanted activities after consuming a drink she believed had been spiked. The lawsuit sent shockwaves through the industry, not just because Diddy's name had once again been tied to controversy, but because it set off a domino effect. If the walls of his empire weren't already cracking, this lawsuit was the sledgehammer that began to bring them down.
Explained all of the items that were involved in these Wild King nights. Did he mention who would participate as well?
A lot of them were unknown to him. He did mention that a lot of the women were very, very young as 20, not underage, but certainly.
But that was just the beginning. The situation escalated dramatically with Diddy's arrest in September 2024, a moment that felt ripped straight from a gritty Netflix thriller. According to the U.S. Justice Department, the charges against him painted a damning picture of an empire that allegedly operated more like a criminal enterprise. Accusations ranged from trafficking to racketeering, with prosecutors depicting Diddy as a man who wielded his wealth, influence, and resources to intimidate, control, and manipulate those around him. They claimed he had built an elaborate network to cover his tracks, relying on employees and associates to keep his alleged activities hidden. And this wasn't just about a few isolated incidents. Prosecutors outlined a disturbing pattern of behavior spanning years, possibly even decades.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
And then there are the leaked audio recordings that have set the internet on fire. These aren't just any random clips. They allegedly feature conversations involving Diddy himself, along with major celebrities like Beyoncé and Meek Mill. One particularly jaw-dropping recording reportedly captures Beyoncé defending her attendance at Diddy's infamous parties, insisting that everyone who showed up knew exactly what they were getting into. The leaked footage has ignited a social media frenzy, with fans dissecting every word and speculating about who knew what and when. For someone like Diddy, who has spent his entire career carefully controlling his narrative, these leaks are nothing short of catastrophic.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. it doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotape.
Now, this is where things take a truly bizarre turn. During one of the raids on Diddy's properties, authorities reportedly seized an enormous quantity of, believe it or not, baby oil. While it might seem like an insignificant detail at first, this discovery has become one of the most talked about aspects of the case. Why? Because for years, whispers and rumors have swirled about the role this seemingly harmless product played in Diddy's private gatherings. It's the kind of odd, almost surreal detail that makes this case even harder to look away from. In fact, one accuser has since come forward, alleging that the baby oil was a key element in what she described as ritualistic activities at these events. If nothing else, it's a detail that keeps this scandal firmly planted in the public's mind.
Did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
Of course, no discussion of the accusations would be complete without addressing the alleged use of substances at these gatherings. Former assistants, insiders, and even paid companions have painted a picture straight out of a Hollywood thriller. One former employee claimed he was responsible for procuring everything from high-end liquor to performance enhancers, which were allegedly used during what some have described as themed nights. While these claims remain unverified, they have only added fuel to the growing narrative that Diddy's world wasn't just about luxury and excess. It was a place where indulgence wasn't just encouraged, it was expected.
A lot of times you have him with a younger female, and there's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent.
Another striking aspect of this scandal is the eerie silence from Diddy's celebrity friends and longtime collaborators. Over the years, he has been one of the most well-connected figures in Hollywood, hosting extravagant parties attended by everyone from politicians to A-list actors, even members of the British royal family. Yet, in the wake of these allegations, many of his high-profile acquaintances have remained conspicuously quiet. Could it be fear of being implicated? Unconfirmed rumors suggest that Diddy kept a vault of compromising material on some of the biggest names in the industry. If true, it would certainly explain why so many are keeping their distance. Adding another layer of intrigue is the ongoing speculation about Diddy's mental state. Reports from inside the Metropolitan Detention Center indicate moments of extreme distress, with one insider claiming he suffered a meltdown after realizing he would likely spend the holidays behind bars. Others, however, dismiss this as an exaggeration, saying Diddy has been practicing meditation and breathing exercises to maintain his composure. Either way, the contrast between his current reality and his former life of luxury couldn't be more dramatic. As one legal expert put it, the man who once ruled the music industry now finds himself fighting for basic privileges, like access to a laptop in jail.
We're monitoring another push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
And then there's the courtroom drama itself. During one of his pretrial hearings, Diddy's legal team argued that the conditions at the detention center were severely hindering his ability to prepare for his defense. They requested access to a laptop, citing the overwhelming volume of evidence that needed to be reviewed. The judge's response? A firm reminder that Diddy is subject to the same rules as every other inmate. It was a humbling moment for a man who once seemed untouchable. A stark reminder that, in the eyes of the law, even billionaires don't get special treatment.
Everybody familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not.
The intensity of the legal battle is rivaled only by the media frenzy surrounding it. Every leaked document, courtroom appearance, and fresh allegation becomes headline news, feeding the public's insatiable curiosity about the case. Documentaries and exposés are being churned out at an astonishing rate, each promising to reveal the real Diddy. Yet, with so much information and misinformation circulating, separating fact from fiction has become increasingly difficult. What's undeniable, however, is that this case has become a cultural flashpoint, forcing a reckoning with issues of power, privilege, and accountability in the entertainment industry. And yet, despite the mounting allegations and damning evidence, Diddy is far from surrendering. His legal team, led by the formidable Mark Agnifilo, has been working relentlessly to dismantle the prosecution's case. They argue that many of the accusations rely on hearsay, and that the leaked recordings have been taken out of context. Agnifilo has also highlighted Diddy's philanthropic efforts, painting him as a flawed but ultimately good-hearted individual. It's a calculated strategy, one aimed at humanizing him in the eyes of the jury. But whether it will be enough to sway the outcome remains to be seen.
At the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, according to the defense, they're legal documents. The government's saying no, on the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes and a calendar.
With the May trial date fast approaching, the world is watching with bated breath. Will more explosive details emerge? Will Diddy's celebrity allies finally break their silence? Or will this saga conclude with one of hip-hop's most legendary figures facing accountability for his actions? One thing is certain, this story is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be just as gripping as the last. Now, let's dive even deeper into this jaw-dropping tale of fame, power, and scandal. If you thought the first part of this story was wild, brace yourself. What's coming next takes things to an entirely new level. Sha Diddy, once the undisputed king of hip-hop and a symbol of success and swagger, now finds himself at the center of one of the most sensational legal battles in entertainment history. But the chaos unfolding in the courtroom isn't just about the allegations. It's about the people involved, the secrets being exposed, and the ripple effects shaking the industry to its core.
So there's a few things going on. First is the privilege issue. The judge will decide whether the documents are privileged or not. If they're not, they're going to go to the government. If the documents are not only not privileged, but they're evidence of witness tampering, then a few things can happen, all of which are bad for Sean Diddy Combs. Okay. First, of course, he could face obstruction of justice charges in a superseding indictment.
Picture this. Diddy, a man who once dominated red carpets with effortless confidence, now sitting in a courtroom surrounded by lawyers, judges, and spectators, with the weight of decades of accusations pressing down on him. Behind him, his family, his children, even his mother, gather in a show of solidarity. During one hearing, he reportedly turned around and blew kisses to his loved ones, a rare glimpse of vulnerability from a man who built his brand on being untouchable. But don't be mistaken.
They probably didn't
this
see
isn't a
these
heartwarming
notes,
family
and
drama.
They never will.
This is
but if you're
a high-stakes
Diddy,
battle for
like
his legacy, his freedom, and possibly even his future.
Like if you've spent so many hours like gathering like evidence for your side or, you know, strategy or whatever, like for me, I'd be like, oh no, please don't destroy, please return.
The pretrial hearings have been nothing short of a spectacle, with Diddy's legal team pulling every trick in the book to defend their client. One of their main grievances? The conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center, where Diddy has been held since his arrest. His lawyers argued that the lack of access to essential resources, like a laptop, was making it nearly impossible for him to prepare his defense. They painted a picture of a man fighting not just the charges against him, but the system itself. But if they expected sympathy from the judge, they were sorely mistaken. The court made it clear that Diddy isn't above the rules, no matter how famous or powerful he may be. It's a stark reminder that the man who once seemed larger than life is now subject to the same restrictions as any other inmate. And then there's the testimony. Oh, the testimony. If you've been following the case, you know that some of the most shocking revelations have come from those who were once part of Diddy's inner circle. Take Phil Pines, for example, Diddy's former senior executive assistant, who has been one of the most vocal insiders, spilling the tea on what he describes as a world of excess, manipulation, and control. From the infamous wild nights to the bizarre requests he claims he was forced to fulfill, Pines' accounts have added a new level of intrigue to the case. He even recalled being pressured to participate in one of these notorious gatherings, describing it as a moment that forever changed his life. According to Pines, loyalty in Diddy's world wasn't just a virtue, it was a test, one that came with consequences if you dared to fail.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
What's even more unsettling is the level of detail Pines provided about the aftermath of these events. He described walking into rooms that looked like scenes straight out of a movie. Dim lighting, scattered items, and an eerie silence that hinted at the chaos that had just unfolded. Pines claimed he was often the one left to clean up the mess, a task that went beyond simple tidying up. It meant ensuring that no trace of the night's activities remained. His account raises a chilling question: how many others were involved in covering up what happened behind closed doors? And just how long did it all go on before someone finally decided to speak out?
And he is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, it is scary because you think, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
But Pines isn't the only one exposing Diddy's private world. Another former associate, known only as Nathan, has stepped forward with equally unsettling allegations. Describing himself as someone hired for specific services, Nathan claimed that Diddy's gatherings were far from ordinary. Instead, they were meticulously orchestrated, almost ritualistic in nature. He even alleged that Diddy had a habit of observing from the shadows, using mirrors or other deceptive methods to watch without being seen. Whether true or not, these claims have only intensified speculation about what really took place at these exclusive events. And then there are the infamous tapes, recordings shrouded in mystery and endless rumors. While their exact contents remain unknown, whispers suggest they could contain footage involving some of Diddy's most high-profile associates. The potential fallout if these tapes were ever made public is enough to explain why many celebrities once close to him have chosen silence. After all, who knows what secrets they might reveal?
I mean, that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the...
Speaking of silence, there's an eerie quiet among Hollywood's elite. Throughout the years, Diddy has been a powerful force in the entertainment industry, forging connections with A-list actors and chart-topping musicians alike. Yet, as this scandal unravels, many of his high-profile friends have remained noticeably silent. Is it loyalty, fear, or something even more sinister? Speculation swirls that Diddy possessed a trove of sensitive information, let's call it L, on those in his inner circle. If true, it could explain why so many are now keeping their distance. In an industry where reputation is everything, the last thing anyone wants is to be pulled down by association.
Still pretty early in the proceedings. I think it's only been about a month or a month and a half since he's been arraigned and held in detention. And so the investigations are always going to be a continuous and ongoing process. I'm sure at this point there's been an exchange of discovery. And not only that, but I think there's been a gag order placed on the attorneys with information that they can and cannot share. But more importantly,
despite the mounting allegations, Diddy's legal team is fighting back with full force, dismissing many of the claims as baseless and arguing that the evidence presented so far doesn't hold up under scrutiny. A key part of their strategy has been challenging the credibility of the accusers, highlighting inconsistencies in their stories and questioning their motives. It's a classic defense tactic, but in a case this high profile, it's also a risky move, especially when public. Opinion can be just as influential as a jury's verdict, and right now, the court of public opinion is anything but kind to Diddy. Then there's the looming trial, scheduled for May, which is shaping up to be one of the most closely watched legal battles in recent history. Prosecutors are expected to present a mountain of evidence, including witness testimonies, recordings, and possibly even those infamous tapes. Meanwhile, Diddy's defense team will be working tirelessly to dismantle the prosecution's case, portraying their client as a victim of media hysteria and opportunistic accusations. This battle won't just be fought in the courtroom, it will play out in the headlines, with every twist and turn scrutinized in real time by the public.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
As the trial date approaches, the big question remains: what's next for Sean Diddy Combs? Can he reclaim his status as one of hip-hop's most influential figures, or has his empire suffered irreversible damage? Beyond his own fate, there are broader implications for the entertainment industry. This case has already ignited discussions about accountability, power dynamics, and the darker side of fame. But will it lead to real change, or will it simply fade into history as yet? Another cautionary tale in the endless cycle of celebrity scandals.
Sean Diddy Combs' case have until today to give answers for how the music mogul has been communicating from jail. Combs appearing in court last Friday seeking bail while he awaits trial. He's been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since September.
The story of Sean Combs is far from over. With each new revelation, leaked recording, and courtroom appearance, the narrative continues to unfold, captivating the world, not just because of the man at its center, but because of what it reveals about the industry as a whole. If there's one thing this case has proven, it's that the truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how deeply it's buried. And when it does, it can change everything. As the saga of Sean Combs continues, viewers are left with more questions than answers. How deep do these allegations go? Who else might be implicated? Will the entertainment industry finally reckon with its darker side, or will this scandal fade into the background like so many before it? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Stay tuned for more updates as we follow this roller coaster of celebrity drama. Until next time.